Take a look at this incredible thing we just saw online from Ford Performance Motoring. The Ford Mustang Mach-e, but look, this is not like any other Mustang Mach-e. The famous Pikes Peak hill climb is just around the corner for another year, and Ford have just released their latest entry. And this is not the first time an EV or Ford have raced at Pikes Peak. EVs have won 4 times already at Pikes Peak, and Ford won last year with a Ford Lightning E.
The Ford Lightning F-150 SuperTruck rocketing through past the crowd. Love watching the diffuser.
Hi, I'm Roscoe, and this is news at AmazingEV. And now teams know that if you want power, and power when it counts, where the air is thin, at the top of the mountain, to win, you need an EV.
Ford F-150 Lightning SuperTruck across the stripe. It will be an 853-553, first in class with a 4707.
But Ford have already learnt this, and they're no strangers to racing at Pikes Peak in an EV. Romain Dumas, current record holder, drove a Ford SuperVan to second place in 2023 with a time under 9 minutes. That was Ford's first attempt with an EV.
Olympian, he's going to swing through this final corner and come across the start-finish line. Let's see what Romain Dumas can do across the stripe. Wow! 847, 682 for Romain Dumas.
A SuperVan based on a Transit in a hill climb with an electric motor driving uphill under 9 minutes. Let me get some of that stuff that Ford Performance is on. And a year later in 2024, they must have had some of that gear left because they come up with another crazy idea. The Ford Lightning SuperTruck.
Romain Dumas on the start line, making another run up Pikes Peak. His 9th year racing in this famous race, and this time with the Ford F-150 Lightning SuperTruck. And there is all sorts of gizmos and gadgets under the frame of this car.
You know what? This time they won in a Ford Lightning SuperTruck. Romain Dumas did it again in a time under 9 minutes. Absolutely incredible.
Romain Dumas through the last corner with the Ford F-150 Lightning SuperTruck across the stripe. It will be an 853-553, first in class with a 47077. And despite the challenges in Section 1, Romain Dumas, the first in class and overall, the 2024 Pikes Peak International Hill Climb.
Have a think about that for a moment. A Ford Lightning EV going up a hill climb, averaging 135 k's an hour with 1,400 odd horsepower. God knows how light. That's just incredible in itself.
Into Engineer's Corner. Got some great stick from those slick tires.
Slightly modified? Well, I doubt there's a single component on the Ford Lightning SuperTruck that bears any resemblance to the road vehicle, but hey, crazy as it is, it won.
Bunch of aero on the back as well, and fairly light. I mean, 3,500 pounds for an EV of this size is a very light, high-performance car.
Pikes Peak is so difficult because you have one shot, you know.
And IONIQ 5N was third outright. And Ford are back again this year. This time, again with Romain Dumas piloting this incredible weapon, a Ford Performance Super Mustang Mach-e. Just absolutely incredible. Ford's commitment to EV racing is undeniable, and we love it. Look at the development being made on these cars and others like it in NASCAR, a NASCAR EV. What'll Ford think of next? Fortunately, no specs on this one available just at the moment. And look, more details on Facebook, on Ford Performance's Facebook site, if you want more details on this model. But stay tuned for the event. It's not far away now. But of course, Pikes Peak is famous now. It's in Colorado Springs, Colorado, USA, but that's only its more recent name. For one great reason, it used to be known as the Sun Mountain or Tava Kavai. Personally, I think that's way more beautiful. So EVs are now the key to success at Pikes Peak, but don't forget it was only 10 years ago that an EV won for the very first time. Rhys Millen won in his electric GT Spirit, first in 2015. He set a new record and beat another electric racer to win in just over 9 minutes. Millen beat the next best ICE car by 30 seconds that year. Now, it doesn't matter what your pedigree was, if you wanted to win at Pikes Peak, electric power couldn't be ignored. 3 years later, in 2018, Romain Dumas was back in the ID.R to win an astonishing time of sub 8 minutes. Volkswagen threw everything at this project. It was a tour de force for their electric future. 7 minutes and 57 seconds. Incredible, absolutely unbelievable. Sub 8 minutes for a vehicle, again, a record that hasn't been beaten. For a 20k hill climb up 1,440 metres. Absolutely astonishing. And Pikes Peak is not the only EV racing around the world at the moment. Give someone a car, put an electric motor in it, and they will race it. Formula E has been running for just over 10 years, and every year it gets more and more exciting. Smaller standardised cars means more overtaking, faster racing, a lot more fun, and now it's even got in-race battery charging to add to the excitement. 4 pit stops with battery charging. Unbelievable leadership of technology, just like other motor racing in Formula 1. Have a look again sometime because it's quite a spectacle. And of course, who could forget Ken Block, rest in peace, burning it up and drifting the Hoonatron. In Electricana, the last of his series, the deal with Audi, the incredible car they built. We miss you, Ken. Sadly, that project didn't go any further, but just show what you can do. And drifting is just starting to leak into the US mainstream as well. Electric drifting is starting to become a thing, so keep an eye out for that. That is going to be insane. And not surprisingly, it appears for now, EVs have been banned from Australian drag strips for safety reasons, citing the release of toxic and flammable gas as an issue. Really? Is that the issue? Or is it something else, drag races? And an incredible parallel miniature universe, RC electric racing has taken the world by storm. It's not just a hobby anymore, this is hardcore, serious stuff.
Coelho now with the 4 in it 2, now out front and rolling. Ronald Volker and Mark Reinhardt right now. This one is wide open for the world title. Right.
One thing's for sure, if you put a powerful electric motor with plenty of torque in a car of any size, someone somewhere around the world will race it. I'm Roscoe, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Very nice work, Ken. Kind of got that.
Copy, so we can be done.